Mikey. Happy Tuesday. We're back
Hell
at
yeah,
game winning
game winning
drive.
drive, baby.
Heck yeah, dude. How you feeling today?
Grip it and rip it.
Cool. Cool. Same. Gripping and ripping. So hey, we're in the final 10 of Circus Survivor. That's really exciting. And we've kind of dodged talking about this out of not wanting to jinx it. But Mikey and I, we have a piece. We have a live piece to get us to this winner ceremony. So
All
the
aboard.
the game winning drive has kept driving, so to speak. We might have got personally bounced, um, but we got hope. And final 10, man, this is pretty serious.
You know what's wild is we like 2 weeks ago from today, basically, maybe it was 3 weeks ago, 2 or 3 weeks ago, we were talking and back and forth about there going to be the potential to be over 65 winners of this thing.
Mm-hmm.
And at the time, I did not see a way in which that didn't happen. And you know, Thanksgiving is one for the ages for sure. 96% of the field drops out, and then again with another day of reckoning with Tampa Bay
Mm.
knocking out everybody else, and so now I was looking at the standings and it was like before you were like, oh, okay, there's like 86 people on this team, and you're like, you're pulling for the dog there if you're not on them, and you're like, oh, okay, that added like, $180,000, whatever it is, and then now you see like one team on another, and you're like, holy shit, this is gonna, we got 1.2 million on the Raiders to win, basically.
Yeah, like last night, there was one dude.
One lone entry.
Yeah, and that was a lot of money. Just 9% of the field. I just you talking about that stuff. You said a lot of stuff that pinged different thoughts of mine, Mikey.
Go.
First, I'm gonna load up the biggest eliminations ever list, and you can see Thanksgiving is number one all time. I don't know if it's that clear on the screen, but number one's Thanksgiving, 94%, and then this past Sunday, that's the third place overall all time. We had the first.
Yeah, that's
and
wild. Essentially back to back weeks.
Yeah, 8 days apart. The field went from 900 to 10. Wow, right? One thing too, you're talking about the numbers and the how it seemed like so likely to have so many. A few weeks ago, I started working on adding some modeling stuff, some stuff about how many people, what's the number of winners, right, and what's the chance it makes it to the end. And before Thanksgiving, I'm seeing these numbers and I keep getting like 60, 70 people. That's why I had that line with you.
Yeah, yeah.
And we never put it out just because, like, something in my heart was like, this is like, even though I can see the numbers, the percentages, I see what everyone's on, the idea of Survivor with that many winners, like, I couldn't stand by the opinion. So we didn't even put it out. And I don't know if that was luck or maybe fate that won that bet against you, but it makes it more exciting, dude. Only 10. And now that I'm looking at those sims again, like trying to guess how far this goes, the contest only has one or two winners is like crazy high. The fact that we're down to 10 with so many weeks left, it's hard to chop it. We know we saw that Grandissimo, we saw 6 of them split it, all losing at once, but that's really hard to do. Most of the time, the contest ends with one winner.
Yeah,
If there's
and
no,
presumably, we've gone we're obviously pretty far down the road here. So the majority of your good teams are going to be burned. So, well, give or take. Suffice to say, you've burned 15 teams. Like, there's, some of those might be bad teams or whatever, but you've cut your weekly options in half. So the likelihood of more eliminations is, increases with each week, I would suspect.
Yes, and because people have so much less options now, it's there's a lot less decisions. Like the decisions have mostly been made. It feels like.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's actually like a really good point, and it's something that we talked about in one of the earlier weeks, where it was like, if you take X team in week 9, that essentially means you're setting yourself up for Y team in week 17 or 14 or 15 or whatever. So a lot of those decisions, yeah, of course things change over time and whatnot, but for the most part, a lot of those decisions have, like you just said, have already been made. Die is cast.
hmm, yes, and I've seen some tweets about this type of thing lately. There's all those different schools of thoughts in Survivor. There's like the people who think about survival, the people who think about value, and one thing that the people who believe in survival over value have in common is they like pointing out the future spots that future value people looked at and were wrong. So like the big one this year is week 3. Everyone slammed Seattle because they thought Seattle had no future value. Now Seattle's like incredible. But like the process you're saying of like spotting all these teams in the spots in the future, like most of them have just come true though. Like the planning and the future value thing for the most part, when you point to like the signpost in the season, oh, week 15 is about that, week 11 is about that. For the most part, it came true. And I think it's just like a worth kind of underlining that and how planning on the map. Yeah, of course it's not certain. Of course all the variants can happen. Of course it's a week to week league and stuff can hit. But for the most part, looking at the future has been pretty handy.
Yeah, no
My man,
doubt.
huh?
No, I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Okay, good. So thinking about that, everyone this week has been saving one of these teams. Those 3 huge favorites, or I guess now there's like 5 huge favorites, but everyone has one of them. No one has to reach this week. This week is one of the easiest weeks we've ever seen.
Yeah.
The entire field gets to be on a -12. No pressure from anyone. And we've had 14 weeks down, so that's kind of remarkable. It also might make everyone kind of lulled into a not making hedges or deals this week because they're on such big favorites. They don't want to worry about it until week before Christmas, maybe.
Yeah, this is every week I feel like I compare it to a poker, something to do with poker, and this is probably the of all the times that I've compared it to poker, this is probably the best the week of comparison, because
Let's hear it, man.
it just happened to be 10 players, which is like, a fairly standard final 10 poker, final table type deal. And the way that I was thinking about it is like, everyone's coming in with a different stack size, because the teams that might have, pick your favorite top 6 teams in the league. If you have those banked, you're the big stack, I suppose. If you have burned all those, then you're a short stack.
Mm,
And so I don't know. Yes, we're all equal in terms of our raw equity, I should say. We all have one team remaining in the whole thing, and that's worth whatever. But like, there is a variation in each pick, and it's pretty substantial.
yeah, it's like in poker, having a lot more chips can buy you time.
Yeah,
You can fold. If you got walking chips, you can go to the bathroom, right, and come back.
yeah.
Um, in Survivor, though, you don't get any time really bought for you. You get a bigger favorite, but you still have to put your life on the line, right? So, like, I
It's
think
kind of
about
like,
it,
yeah,
but
it's kind of like you're forced to go all in against the computer, and like you can choose your hand, kind of, and
right.
like,
Maybe some blockers out there.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, it's funny. Like poker, obviously there's pay jumps and payouts. You know, um, like in a poker tournament, if you made it to the final 10 out of 18,000, you're chilling. Like no matter what happens, you're getting some
Yeah.
money. But now it's like you get to final 10. One, I think the best entry is like 25-30% to survive, something like that, or to win. So most of the time, none of these entries are going to win. Like if you take any entry by itself, you bet against it winning. Excuse me, I'm pretty sure that's true. But the work, now that you're this far in the Survivor, it's like work for you if you get deep. You make the November 9 World Series, you're like loving it, but here you're like, how do I make deals? How do I swap? How do I trust these strangers? How do I hedge? How do I get the big credit at Circa so I can lock up 6 figures or 7 figures? It's not just like you can show up and watch the money hit your PokerStars account. You gotta like run around for the money a little bit.
Yeah, like I don't know. It kind of takes like every gambling strategy, not strategy, but like
Dude, it's everything. Tactics, those.
Yeah, tactics. It takes like every tactic that you would have had to develop as a gambler over the last 20 years, basically, for me and you.
Yeah, it's cool how Survivor requires all this stuff. At the beginning it's fun, and then when you get here, it's part of you wants to like just ride it out. Oh, I saved these teams, let's ride it out and just see. But I know what it feels like to have a Survivor run where you don't hedge at all and then you lose, and you got to wait whatever 7 months to get back in there, 8 months. So there's like people have that thing where they don't want trauma for themselves. So do they sign up for the hedge now, or they save it and go for the glory?
I'll give you a personal anecdote. This was like this was when I was kind of first started playing poker, and I was playing a lot of the this is probably the first year I was eligible to play in the World Series, and I was playing a lot of the satellites. And I remember talking to Galfond about it, and I was like, "Yeah, I don't really quite understand how to do a deal, especially if we're getting like satellite chips or something like that." And I was like, the people were talking to me, and again, this was like 20 years ago, so I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. I always feel like I'm not getting I'm always getting taken advantage of in these deals or whatever. And so Galfond was just like, well, you should think about this, and then ultimately just probably just don't do the deal. And I was like, all right. And so I remember getting to like there's probably like 70 people or something like this, and some event, and I remember getting down to like the final four, and it was late at night, and then people were like, well, we could chop this and split it up this way, and everyone will walk away with like 8,000 or something like that. And I just remember being just the only thing that was going through my mind was Galfond saying probably just don't take it, and I just go no. I just kept saying that. And like fourth place was probably, it was like such a top heavy payout or something like that. So I'm sure in retrospect, looking back, the deal was like hugely beneficial for me to take. And I just remember like hammer fisting, no deal, play on. And then
You have principles.
yeah, and then I'm certain, I don't even remember the results. I'm certain I got bounced at a lesser payout than to get punished for it. But
You didn't scoop it, but it sounds like you don't certainly regret the no chop, right? Like you
yeah,
gave
no,
us.
I mean, I'm never like, it's never a bad thing to go no chop. I mean, it's like I shouldn't say that. It can be bad, depending on your personal value of money. But I don't know, and it always is like, it always, another thing that has always stuck in my mind is Ivy always ran it once in cash games, and like you knew that going into it, so it had like this mystique to it, knowing
Yeah,
that if you got it all in against Ivy, he's going once, and you're just like, oh fuck, I have to call it, like of course you're not gonna fold something that makes sense, but like every time you're like, well, here we go, we got to do it once.
yeah. Yeah, it's got you want the kind of meta game about you out
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
One thing though, just from looking at the leaderboard and kind of hearing a little bit about people chopping and like making plans, is a bunch of these entries have lots of people with pieces of them.
Yeah, that
Like
that too makes it really difficult.
maybe what's it 10 left? Maybe 3 of them
Or
don't
solos.
have a partner, but
Yeah.
that's just me speculating because I'm pretty sure about like 7 of them that it's a bunch of people playing it, and that's like I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. I'm just saying as far as getting a deal done, uh,
It's incredibly difficult because do you have one person that's meant to speak for the group, and then that thing, whatever that person agrees to, cascades to the rest of the group, or is that person only allowed to deal their portion? You know?
yes, there's that, and just in general, like when if it was one person who turned $1,000 into 1.8 million, they would want a deal like a lot more, right? But like when you split it up over 5 people,
Yeah,
obviously 300K is a lot of money. Everyone wants to pick up 300K off the ground, but uh,
it's not the same.
yeah, and it could still go 10x from here, right? Like 1.8 million can still get to 18 million. Uh, I think there's some schedule things that make some people want to chop more. Um, See you, Mikey. So the Christmas thing, it's a big split. One person's got Kansas City. I think it's 4 have Dallas, 5 have Washington. So that's going to affect some like valuations. And later today, Survivor Atlas. Oh, hey, Mikey, welcome back. I was just saying later today, Survivor Atlas. We're going to tweet out valuations of all the 10 entries left.
There's also, I was gonna say, is there's like thresholds, right? If you know, if you like, you bet $100, right, on your team or whatever, and like, certainly $1,000 is like one type of money or like one level of money, and I think the next one would probably be somewhere around like $10,000, and then another step up, for the most part, everyone has their own thresholds, but like 10,000 is probably similar all the way up till you get to like 45,000.
Mm,
Just,
okay.
and what I mean is like, of course, 45,000 is 4.5x in reality, but like in terms of like how it impacts a person's life, 45,000 is probably that next threshold of it impacting your life like substantially more than just $10,000 would.
Right, like $1, like $8 is 8 times more, but
But
same thing.
it's
Same thing.
the exact same thing.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
then after 45, I don't know, maybe 190 to 230, somewhere in there. And then after that, I don't know, you keep going up and up, and like you're saying, if you're 1/10 of an entry and you got 300K, it's like that's dramatically different than a 1.8. That like 1.8 is like that's a lot different, more, that's a lot different than 300.
Yeah, yeah. So, if this pool just keeps getting bigger and bigger and more people just form their own groups and want to play, and like I think that's pretty natural evolution of this. Like it's a fair game. People like it. People want to get to the end of the season. But the more and more groups we have where they're less inclined to chop and they're more inclined to battle, through the Christmas pick'ems, through the week 17 bottleneck, through the week 18 craziness. Um, and I think it just makes it more exciting when a group, even if it's like 5 people, are like, we ain't chopping, like we're going for it. If that happens every year, then it's way more exciting. And also, it's kind of like, you're saying Ivy, once you know he doesn't run it twice, you get a little scared. But if
Yeah.
no one in Circa is going to chop and there's 50 million bucks in it, it's like makes it a little harder to sign up for some people. Uh,
Yeah.
but
It's
not me.
it's also a little difficult, because the way that this particular contest played out is in such a way that, we've said it before, that the people that have made it this far are, tend to be on the sharper side. Um, so it's not like someone's going to be taken advantage of in a deal here. But also, I would say that the people remaining are probably have more experience when it comes to the notion of making a deal.
Yeah, that's probably true. Where, uh, in like poker deals, how rare it is for lawyers to get involved, right? Like,
Yeah,
and but we know the group of lawyers in Survivor who try to make the deals happen because they think like the players can't work it out. And now we're in the era with all the poker players remaining, so I think a deal can just happen kind of without that overhead. Um, and related, we lost an entry last night. Sam Savro lost on the Eagles,
I saw.
and I'm bringing it up because I just want to give him a shout out because he cashed Grandissimo, and then yesterday he won like a $2 million bracelet event in Bahamas.
Is that true? I didn't know that.
He won like $2 million, and then like a few hours later he lost his entry.
So he broke even on the day.
Yeah, yeah, and like the pick he did, he knows why it wasn't like theoretically maybe the best play, but it was a courageous like island play that wasn't bad, and I think it was a pretty cool way to go out. And so, as a person with some skin in the game, I'm glad he's gone because he's got a big brain. But just wanted to mention it because it was a remarkable day for that dude.
What do you think about the difference between hedging on your own versus hedging by, pursuing a deal?
I have a lot of thoughts on that. I think first is pursuing deals. It's so cool when it's worth or when it's with people that you know or that you trust or you just have an easy thing with. And that saves you on paying the vig, right?
Yeah.
But of course, there's a price to pay if you want to bring a friend in, and maybe there's some like arguments on that stuff. But I always would try to go that route first before selling. Is like just getting someone who gets it on board, so and like help make them money in some way. Hedging, I think, like in general, hedging, you're like getting a bad price, right? The house is making money off you. If you're like a witch and you're into all the price shopping and all that getting outs and good outs and all that stuff, and you're sharp, I'm sure you can make some plus EV hedges, maybe. But it's hard, right? The size is so big.
Yeah.
Actually, no, a kind of interesting wrinkle is if a lot of these entries have like 5 people on them, and whoever's name is on the entry, that's who Circle would give credit to.
Right.
So maybe it's easy for one person to hedge and like share it with the others or something, but it might get tricky. And I wonder if Circa's ever like given credit to the partners instead of the person's name on the entry. I don't know. I also think selling at this point, like trying to sell a piece is hard. Like selling it on like a marketplace or selling to people in the Discord, because everyone thinks their entry can win 18 million, and no one wants to sell it for like less than average, right? Even though most entries, I think 6 out of the 10 are worth less than the par value. So it's hard to get a transaction unless you find someone like fishy who's willing to overpay, or maybe someone's willing to overpay because they want some tax money coming from Circa or something like that. Who remember that gangster dude who used to buy the lottery tickets?
Yeah.
Like who knows what someone might do that for?
What some scam someone's got cooking up.
Right. I don't know. But unless you have a connection like that, the best bet
it's also hard to find someone that's just gonna like, hand you $100,000.
Yep.
Like that's a limited player pool.
Yeah, it's weird, man. Like, Survivor, I wouldn't recommend anyone play Survivor if they can't afford to lose the money, right? Like Survivor's high variance, you're supposed to get wiped out.
Yeah.
So my general advice would be for people to like just hedge a little bit, maybe to get their money back, get some buy-ins back or something. Uh, Trying to cash it all out now and cutting off your upside. I feel like the people who sign up for this contest shouldn't like. I don't know, dude. It's $1.8 million. That's a lot of money. So I'm not trying to like say people should do one way or the other, but and also I'm kind of rambling. I'm all over the place. Sorry, Mikey, but I have a lot of thoughts pop in. One is like a few years ago, when in 2021 when we won, I personally was hedging some at the end. The money was big, but it wasn't like crazy, crazy. Like our check was $1.5 million. The entries now are all worth more than that, more than whatever even our check was worth, right? We're playing for 18 million now. The size is so big now.
Again, it's like the main event when Doyle was playing and it was a sit and go basically.
Yeah, and they're waiting for it to end so they can go play the cash games on the side.
Right.
But now that it's 18 million, it's like, like I guess it's okay to pay some hedge money here, and here because the size is so big and you can't easily hedge it in one swoop. Not to mention how dangerous that gets. As if you hedge and everyone survives and you're just like not gaining any value.
Right.
We have the clear Christmas event though, where people are going to be on the opposite side of the same game. So there is that through that point we know that the survivor values go up. So that's kind of like the safe hedge spot, I guess you could say, for most people. Like, okay, if you survive that game, then half the field's getting knocked out. So it's safer to hedge on yourself because your survivor value will go up if you survive. Does that make sense?
Yeah, for sure. That would be I don't know, a team worth swapping with, right? If potentially at a discount if you're on the favorite.
Oh, right. So I know, I mean, that's like a major point in the if there's any like chop talk, swap talk, contract talk going on, is that half the people are on Washington, half the people are on Dallas, and there is no line for that game. I know what Survivor Atlas says the line is.
I know what I say the line is.
And I know the last time I know what the line opened at May 21st. I see what the line last was on September 4th. But what line are people working off of? I feel like
I know what I'm working on. Cowboys are a touchdown favorite, baby.
You think -7?
Yeah.
Dude, that's real bad for half the field, man. But yeah, so Atlas, we have like 4.5 now, and I don't think it gets below 3.5. Washington, there's nothing they can do to become better, right? Like it would take Dallas losing Pickens and Lamb to maybe if they run into each other in practice with double concussion.
Yeah.
But besides
or
that,
they get angry and have a gunfight or something.
Yeah, yeah. The coach is like, guys, no gunfights. We need this. I didn't really watch much of that Minnesota game. I was checking in. I saw the scoreline.
It was dreadful.
Huh?
I mean, it was bad. It was dreadful. There's not a good team. They're, I think we've talked about them ad nauseum, but like, I think last year was like super smoke and mirrors, and this year it's just like there's just a talent deficit. It has, like the coaching's fine, has nothing to do with like play calling. It's just their team's not very good, and like when I listen to sports radio about them, it's like one of the things that they talk about is like think about the heavy hitters or like the best players on a given team. So like even the Dolphins who aren't that good, you have Achan or whatever and Waddle, and you can name super players. You go to the Redskins or Commanders and it's just like there's no one. Like they're just like run of the mill at every position. Maybe Tunsil on the offensive line, but aside from that,
Dude, Austin Eckler, man, he puts up
Yeah,
numbers.
yeah, and he's gone.
Okay, hey, this has been in my head for like a few weeks now, and now that we got a live piece of this Final 10, I gotta bring it up, and that is we grew up Washington fans.
Yeah.
My whole family grew up Washington fans. My best friend was a Dallas Cowboys fan. Shout out Brandon, but the Cowboys, And we're on track to have this entry be Dallas to beat Washington. And like it keeps popping in my head, like childhood Gabe. If he knew that he was going to be, cheering his full, put my whole chest into cheering for the Cowboys on Christmas Day, and me and every one of my family doing it, it feels like maybe bad karma or just bad something where if I lose, I'm gonna like
Manifest that somehow.
I don't know, just something about young Gabe being so disappointed and adult Gabe being on the Cowboys for all the money instead of the Washington. I know it's dumb to talk about, but it just keeps
No,
popping up,
I
man.
get it, but I think more than any other fan base, the difference between people our age and their relationship with their team. Like every other team has had, ups and downs, but when Dan Snyder bought the team, that was you and I were probably like 10 years old or something,
Seemed
whatever.
cool.
Exactly. And then it seemed like it was going to go okay, and then it was 20 years of like complete nothing. Like nothing. For the longest period of time, the Redskins were the team with the longest playoff game drought and all this stuff. And like one year he would go out and buy every free agent possible. That was like the highest top
And
dollar
then,
free agent.
and then bring him in on the helicopter, land it on the
Yeah.
practice field. What's up, bitches?
Yeah. And then that wouldn't work out. And then he would, go a different route, and then he let his son draft the quarterback that died, got hit by a car, Haskins or
Oh
whatever.
yeah.
So like it's been a 20-year drought. So like any for me at least, any I don't know, goodwill that I had for the team is essentially shot at this point.
Hey, not to mention last year in Survivor getting knocked out Washington against Dallas when they were supposed to smoke them, and then they had all that last second stuff. Man, the superstitious things are in overdrive now with so few people left. On was it Tony's show last week? One of the entries that got knocked out a few days later was talking about the game before and how, like they're winning, but then they score a touchdown when her dad was in the hallway, and now I'm going to stand in the hallway and like do weird, this stuff probably hasn't hit you, but I know normies everywhere, including myself, start getting gripped by some weird superstitious stuff as the money gets so big because your brain has like never been in a situation where you might just win $18 million. So it starts trying to come up with things that you can do to affect reality. All bullshit, but it'll still do it, right? Like,
Yeah, I mean, I still put my thumb on the monitor. I don't want to see the river. Or I'll do this to not see the flop.
yeah, definitely on the all ends. You
Yeah.
gotta do one at a time. But yeah, I guess that's a pretty good comparison. You just kind of
I'm not ready to like take it all in, at that moment.
right. Let me drag this out. Imagine a roulette wheel and the ball spins for like 10 minutes. And like as it spins, it's just the crowd's getting bigger. Like, where's it?
It just keeps bouncing.
Right. The dealer starts putting their hands out, no more bets, but then it just keeps coming in, it keeps rolling. That's all we want, man. A perpetual, that's the most exciting moment is when the ball is spinning around the wheel.
And when you hear the click, 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 click.
Right, like
click, click, click.
That's all we want, man. We just in the Bizarro Casino, that needs to be maybe the sound, like the music would just be the shh.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's talk about this week, I guess, Mikey. Or let's talk about Survivor, I guess. Is it even worth it, dude? This week, everyone's on big favorite. Next week, same. Next week, same thing, and then Christmas, man. Just going through everyone's entries and trying to figure out the decisions, it just doesn't feel like anyone's have that much of decisions at this point. Like all of the decisions are just week 18. One team says they're going to try real hard. Another team says they're probably.
Yeah,
And who do you trust, or which?
it's also gonna. I don't know. I think it's gonna suck for anyone that's eliminated over the next 2 weeks. Like, doesn't make it to Christmas.
Oh yeah,
Especially this week, because again, there are weeks in the past that have made it to where you feel like you're getting a free pass. I remember that the Bills were like -25 against one team or something.
okay.
And you were like, okay, you can use them this week and just take your free pass. That's what these weeks kind of feel like. So if you get bumped out here just before Christmas, it's going to feel like a real
Yeah.
dagger.
Yes. I do think next week is cool because some teams will have the decision of do you play a crappy team now and save Philadelphia, Jacksonville for the end, or do you just burn your week 18? And like, I don't know the right answer to that. Like, do you? Like, I don't know how much, Mike, you've looked at the playoff standings or the seeding stuff, but there's a lot of teams who might not try on week 18. Like Jacksonville's playing the Titans, but they might be a dog if they just sit everyone. And
I'm much more intrigued by analysis of the entries and like you know who they can who each person has available, and then also the type of player that they are. So like, is there anything that can be read into an ability to decipher who they're going to pick based on their previous picks?
yeah, it's funny because you can kind of clock all these people. They all were multi entries. They all had 10 entries, except one guy only had 3.
That's what I was going to ask you next. Actually, is how many of these people were multi?
All tenors. And I saw someone on Twitter saying, "Oh, that just really highlights how you have to have 10 entries to have a chance." But I mean, this year all the underdogs won on Thanksgiving. The type of people wacky enough to play an underdog on Thanksgiving are the type to have 10. And on the counterpoint, anyone who's only once won and it plays for survival and safety will never think to be on the underdog there.
Correct.
So
it's a self-selecting group.
Yeah, and there's been plenty of years where groups with entries played dogs or played whatever stupid stuff and they lost and no one thinks about it. But because this is the year that everyone got whacked getting survivor greedy on the dang Eagles, this is what we have. So there is kind of a lot of info to play off people, but it's weird because like the poker guy who says he had a few entries survive and it was across multiple accounts, right? So like you look at one of these accounts that he had and you see you just went all in on a team, all in on a team, all in on a team. And you're like, okay, it's like a syndicate. Like you can't really read into like their full strategy just by checking that entry back, right?
Yeah.
And of course everyone played a dog on Thanksgiving, so it's if that's the only read you had on someone, that's you know a ton about them, right? So
yeah, for sure. I don't know. Again, going back to poker, it's like somebody that opens 5x under the gun or something. You're just like that action in and of itself is enough to tell you something.
Yeah, right. Like it's enough. It's enough to. Yeah, I hear what you're saying. It's a competition where there is no rules on what you can do, but the choices are. It's only so many choices, right? I think there's a few entries that are like bad that are going to have some decisions on when they take the bad team next week or after Christmas. But math wise, maybe people are just supposed to not worry about after Christmas because it's so hard to get through, etc. We could have a tie, knock out everyone. This week, everyone having a free pass this week though. Should we even watch the games, Mikey? Does it even matter?
I'm fine with not. I got stuff to do.
Yeah, all right, man. Well, I don't have anything else to offer, Mikey.
I'm good too.
I try to do some EV stuff, but everything's such a big favorite. It kind of like doesn't even matter this week. And yeah, all right, Mikey. Well,
Good luck us.
I'm gonna put some evaluations out tonight from Atlas. So I want you to study those. Tailgate, dude. I don't even know what's the point of doing tailgate now.
You think the number of listeners will tank?
I mean, what do we get?
It's
I
just
mean,
you. It's just you talking to yourself.
yeah, right. And so it feels like survivor pools are just kind of done everywhere, except for all those weird second chance ones, except for Circus Survivor. So maybe it'd
Hey,
be.
did the splash pools? How are they looking?
Oh man, I was just fighting this morning trying to get that stuff working on the website. I think the huge one is down to maybe 20 or 30 people for 2.5 million, and then the
Wait,
5K.
that means they had to take 2 dogs on Thanksgiving because in the splash pool you have to take 2.
They don't. Thanksgiving is a circa.
Okay.
Most places don't mess with the holiday stuff. They just treat it as a normal week. But
Okay.
that was a part of double weeks, and lots of people chose Philadelphia and someone else that week, right?
Yeah.
I think at least one, maybe a couple Survivor House people are still alive to win that. So I'm trying to get this website fixed before you have a decision. And the 5K, I think goes down to 3 people. That's for $1 million. And worth saying, the Super Contest 5K ended this week with one guy scooping all $555,000. And the guy seemed to play kind of good. So I like that. And I'm just going to throw this out there for anyone who's in Circus still. We could have a tailgate where we talk deals. Is that stupid to do that in public, Mikey? I don't know. But it might be helpful to everyone to like get it on the table.
I think it would be. Well, I don't know if you want me to say this. I mean, I feel like it would be beneficial to us because I don't know. I would suspect that you and I would do better under pressure.
Like when someone says like your entry sucks, actually we just hit mute.
Yeah.
I don't know if we can get away with that, man.
I've learned a lot in my 20 years since I was refusing deals that are hugely beneficial to me. So
yeah, I think bottom line, there's a lot of football left to be played, right?
yeah, that's true. We're talking as if it's already cash in the bank, but might not be the case.
I will say, regardless of what happens, I will be at the winners ceremony, hanging with the winners. And I don't know if that's jinxing it or not, but I'm going to be there. I'm just going to drive down there, put my suit on. And hey, on that note, Survivor Tailgate TBD. Mikey, thanks for hanging out with me today, man. And
Hey, for sure.
have a good one, dude.
See you.
Bye.